Michael Stewart's love-hate relationship with Rangers continues, with everybody hating Michael Stewart and Michael Stewart loving to hate the Rangers. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And Michael Stewart, believe it or not, has came out and branded Rangers toxic. He is called Rangers toxic over the whole VAR situation with Willie COLLUM. He's not a fan of how Rangers have handled it. He thinks it's very poor from the club. They need to move on. And he says he's got sympathy with referee Willie COLLUM. Now, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody will know what happened. Celtic and Rangers took each other on in the Old Firm derby. There was a penalty call in the box. Alistair Johnston punched the ball away from Seema. VAR looked at it. Now, despite there being a potential offside, it's irrelevant here because offside wasn't talked about. Offside had no impact on the decision that was made. VAR looked at it, and Willie COLLUM decided that it was not a handball. Now, this led to Rangers feeling like they were screwed, feeling like they were robbed. They contacted the SFA. They wanted audio. They wanted this. They wanted that. They wanted explanations. And after getting the audio and not being happy with what they heard, they then requested that Willie COLLUM not officiate any more of their matches. Now, do I agree with that call? No, because it's one incident, and let's keep it real here. If Rangers decide to do it after one incident, then another club do it to another referee after one incident, we're going to get to the point where pretty much every club in the league, after a couple of weeks, wants at least one referee to never referee their games again. And then, you know, after like 1 month, you've literally run out of referees. We barely have enough referees in Scotland as it is. We barely have any good referees. You could argue we don't have any good referees. So I don't know if this is the right thing to do. And Michael Stewart doesn't think it's the right thing to do either, because he was speaking on Sports Sound, and this is what he had to say about the situation. Quote, "It brings me back to when Rangers were up in arms with Neil Doncaster, the SPFL, over their handling of the coronavirus when the season was cancelled. To a certain extent, I had sympathy with some of the questions that were asked, but as soon as they became so vitriolic towards Neil Doncaster, I thought it was too far. This has a little bit of that as well. Personally, I think Rangers have moved on from those days without the likes of Jim Traynor and David Graham. I don't think they're as toxic and aggressive, and their messaging is better, but this has slipped back to that. They've personalised it with Willie COLLUM, and I thought they'd moved on from that. It's not great to see. I go back to what happened after the game. It was the right decision, but the way they got to it was the wrong way, and they tried to cover it up. So I understand that Rangers had grievances about that, but it's caveated by the fact that the right decision was given. It wasn't a penalty. Something was going on behind the scenes they deserved an explanation for, but a lot of that should have been done a lot more privately than it was." End of quote. So Michael Stewart here bringing up the COVID season and the fact that Rangers were really unhappy that Celtic were awarded the title. He sees similarities between that and Rangers being unhappy here that they weren't awarded a penalty. I mean, look, Michael Stewart, he's entitled to his opinion. I don't see this as being toxic. I think Rangers simply wanted an explanation. I think they got an explanation. They didn't like the explanation that they got. He brings up the fact that the right decision was made in the end, and while that may be the case, maybe it was offside, but that's not the point, okay? It wasn't given offside. It was given not a handball, and I think Rangers are entitled to question that. Michael Stewart is a guy that is happy to question everything. Anytime you hear Michael Stewart, he's always complaining or criticising or questioning a decision or questioning an opinion. So why does Michael Stewart think that he's entitled to do whatever he wants, but football clubs can't question decisions that cost them, that they believe, 3 points in massive games that could have consequences and implications on titles going forward? I don't understand this, guys, from Michael Stewart. I know he hates Rangers. I know he pretty much hates everybody. You speak of toxic. You could argue Michael Stewart's toxic. He's always taking jabs and digs at people. He's always instigating shit. So yeah, if Michael Stewart wants to look at toxic, maybe the guy should look in the mirror. When I think of pundits, he's probably the most hated pundit, I think. I know Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton, they have their haters from their respective rivals, and I get that, but I think everyone could agree that Michael Stewart, he probably is the most hated pundit. People just don't ever have a positive word to say about Michael Stewart. I don't know anybody that likes Michael Stewart. The guy's a massive fucking dick, so yeah, he's entitled to his opinion, he's entitled to question decisions, but so are Rangers. He questioned a decision in the cup final. He was adamant that Duke was fouled. And I think he's right. I think Duke was fouled by Rangers. And if he wants to complain to the SFA and ask why Aberdeen weren't given a penalty, then he can do that. He's entitled to do that. But Rangers are entitled to ask the SFA why that wasn't a handball. They're entitled to get the audio from that handball. And if Michael Stewart or Aberdeen want to get the audio for the foul on Duke in the cup final, then great, do it. I think that's good. I think it'd be nice to see and nice to understand why that wasn't given or why that wasn't looked at. So yeah, no, I just don't understand why he's picking. Well, I do understand he hates Rangers, but still, Michael Stewart, you're a pundit, man. It's supposed to be a little bit more impartial. We should try it. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Beat Fog Football. Till next time, peace.